This lesson is graphing inequalities on a number line using board number 13, the dry erase markers, and the cloth. Along the bottom you can see that we have a section here where we can graph inequalities, and it's labeled very clearly. And this is where we're going to actually write the inequality. You can tell students that right here there are all the signs that are available for the inequality, so if they forget they can just look above and choose one that is appropriate for the inequality. So let's start off with a real basic one, and we'll say that x is less than 2. Notice the number goes in here, and x is less than 2 is the inequality. So what we need to do is we need to graph all values that are less than 2. So we can either graph the whole numbers, we can graph the integers, or we can graph all real numbers. And depending on what set you're trying to graph, we can do that. So we're going to take all the values less than 2. So 2 is not included, but the whole number 1 is. If you're going to graph all the integers, we would have to continue and keep going all the way down to the end of the left side of the graph. And we actually need an arrow to continue to show that pattern. And if we wanted to graph all the real numbers less than 2, we would have to put an open circle because it does not include the number 2, because 2 is not less than 2. And then we have to draw in the line to show that all the values on the line are included. So this is how you graph x is less than 2. This line can also be used to graph different inequalities that have two sides. So for instance, we can say that negative 3 is less than or equal to x is less than 4. So what we need to do is we need to include all values between 4 and negative 3, and we also need to include the negative 3 because there is an equal sign on this side. So negative 3 is less than or equal to x is less than 4. So let's start off with the right side. It's less than 4, so we do not include that. And it does include the negative 3 because there's an equal and all values in between. So again, we need to determine what set of numbers we are trying to include, whether it's real numbers, whether it's integers or whole numbers. So we do the same thing. If it's integers, we can include all the values in between. If it's whole numbers, we would just include the values 0, 1, 2, and 3. And if it's real numbers, we include all of the values. So this is how you use board number 13 to graph inequalities.